Voting is now underway in the French presidential runoff, with Emmanuel Macron seeking a second term and Marine Le Pen hoping to shock the world by becoming a far-right leader of France. Well, our chief international correspondent Ben Lewis joins us now live from Paris. Good evening, Ben. All signs seem to be pointing to Macron retaining the presidency.
Yeah, good evening, Janice. Yes, most polls suggest that he will go into today with a 10 or 11 point advantage, but the Le Pen camp is saying you can't always trust the polls. Look at Brexit and the election of Donald Trump. We haven't seen much of the candidates at all in the last 24 hours because they are not allowed to campaign under French electoral law, but we did see Emmanuel Macron and his wife going for a stroll on the beach yesterday. He looked pretty relaxed, the look of a man who thinks he is going to be re-elected today. Macron and Le Pen have very different visions for the future of this country. Le Pen sees herself as a protector of the traditional French culture and identity, but many voters are really concerned about what a far-right president would mean for them.
The Saint-Denis market is a microcosm of modern-day France. This suburb is diverse and home to a large immigrant population. Marine Le Pen is, to no one's surprise, unpopular here. But Fatima and her daughter Sana are not at all shocked by the level of support she has in other parts of the country.
On n'est pas accepté dans la société française parce qu'on est de base arabe. Donc c'est pas vraiment le voile qui les dérange, c'est les Arabes qui les dérangent.
Le Pen's pledge to ban the hijab is one of her most controversial policies, and one which would, in practice, be near impossible to police.
Si Marine Le Pen elle veut m'interdire à moi le voile, je refuserai. Même s'il faut que je paye plusieurs fois les amendes, que je parte en prison, je le garderai sur ma tête. Pour moi, c'est comme une couronne.
If the far-right leader does win, many in Saint-Denis expect there will be riots.
Elle n'accepte pas certaines religions ici en France. Donc je pense qu'il y aura quand même une grande révolution en France.
This suburb backed the far-left candidate in the first round. Now the president needs those votes.
It's fair to say there's not really any enthusiasm for Emmanuel Macron here. It's just that so many people detest Marine Le Pen. If the president is re-elected, it will be with the support of people who don't really care for him or his policies.
Il n'a pas été non plus un bon président, socialement parlant. La retraite à 65 ans, c'est pas possible. Mais nous devons voter Macron juste pour faire barrage à Marine Le Pen, parce qu'elle ne représente pas cette France que nous aimons. Voilà, c'est par rapport à ça.
To find people who are genuinely excited about a second term of President Macron, you need to head across the Seine to the upper-class, ultra-expensive neighbourhood of Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Most voters here have money but are socially liberal. Jean-Michel dismisses the suggestion that Macron is elitist and arrogant.
Non, pour moi, c'est vraiment quelqu'un qui a des opinions centristes, des opinions qui sont solides pour l'avenir de la France, qui a un rôle en Europe.
His wife Annie finds Le Pen distasteful, but doesn't care much for Macron either.
Si Macron est assez haut dans les derniers sondages, je mettrai un bulletin blanc parce que je ne suis pas d'accord avec tout ce qu'il a fait pendant son mandat.
That could be Macron's undoing. Voters who don't bother showing up, thinking his victory is inevitable. After a day travelling across Paris, we did not find a single Le Pen supporter. Most of her support comes from areas outside the big cities, regions that often feel overlooked. Cafe owner Christelle says she's ready for an alternative to Macron and believes that if elected, some of Le Pen's more extreme policies will be reined in by the French Parliament.
Pourquoi pas lui laisser sa chance pour une fois, voir ce que ça peut faire. Après, ça peut pas être non plus la fin du monde si elle passe. Mais bon, je suis pas convaincue qu'elle passe, mais voilà.
The idea that she could win might be the thing that gets Macron across the line.
So the polls have now been open for several hours. They will close at 8 p.m. tonight, Paris time, and then we will find out the first exit poll results. And those exit polls are normally pretty accurate here in France, so it won't take long to know what the result is. Janice, the Macron camp have been building an enormous stage beneath the Eiffel Tower over the last few days. It is where the president plans to address the nation tonight. It is a sign of how confident Macron is. It is not the sort of venue you book if you think you're going to be making a concession speech.
We shall wait and see. Thanks so much. Our Chief International Correspondent Ben Lewis reporting on the French elections from Paris.